Yannick Nézet-Séguin led the Philadelphia Orchestra, and that was the Symphony in E minor by Florence Price, which was her first symphony. Before the end of her life, she had written some 4 symphonies and many, many other pieces, up to 300 works or so. You're listening to Midday Oasis. I'm Diane Donovan, and I certainly hope that you're enjoying the music thus far. I do want to let you know that in the noon hour, we'll have a string trio by Schubert. We're going to start things off with music from the movies by Alexandre Desplat, The King's Speech.
Support comes from Austin Film Festival's 20th Annual Film and Food Fundraising Party, October 25th at Fair Market. Specialty cocktails, cuisine, and auction benefiting the Young Filmmakers Program. More information at austinfilmfestival.com.
This is Classical 89.5, KMFA, Austin, on key and offbeat.
Support for KMFA.
Judge Andy Brown, thanks for joining us here today. I want to thank Commissioner Trevelyan, our Travis County staff, and community groups for being with us here today to celebrate this accomplishment. I want to share another major accomplishment for employees here at Travis County. Today, the Commissioners Court voted to increase the number of weeks that Travis County employees can take for parental leave from 8 weeks to 12 weeks, effective immediately. Travis County families deserve this time. The county has approved more than 38,000 hours of paid leave for a birth, adoption, foster, or kinship placement so far. And as a parent, I know how important those first few weeks are with a newborn. I know you do too, experiencing it right now. And, I'll never forget that time that I had with my kids when they were in those early stages. And I want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can as a Travis County employer and as the Travis County government to make sure that we're offering that same opportunity to our Travis County family. Every parent in Travis County deserves to have the privilege of having a safe, stable start for their family that is supported by their employer and by the community. Before the Commissioners Court last May, it would have taken our staff more than 6 years of work to save up 8 weeks of vacation time to take off for the addition of a child to their family, and a lot has changed since then. Travis County employees should also be able to build strong, stable families when and how they see fit. Now that employees have 12 weeks off of paid leave, they can do that whenever they're ready to use them. We value our workers, we value our workers' families, and we're doing the work to build a culture that reflects our values here at Travis County. It's really that simple. At a time when the state of Texas is pushing to have more control over a woman's right to choose whether to have a family, Travis County is stepping up to do everything we can to take care of our community. It's a top priority for Travis County to protect a woman's right to choose and to do all we can to support Travis County families. I'm going to say just a little bit in Spanish as well. Buenas tardes, soy el juez del condado de Travis, Andy Brown. Estoy muy contento de compartir con ustedes otro gran logro a favor de nuestros empleados. El día de hoy, el Tribunal de Comisionados del Condado de Travis votó a favor de incrementar el permiso de paternidad pagado de 8 a 12 semanas, efectivo inmediatamente. Okay, I'll end it there, and I'll pass it over to Commissioner Trevelyan, and then maybe you can say hi as our newest addition.
So she's getting the grandfather vibe from you, But I just want to say that today was a very important day because what we're talking about is treating our families well. Oftentimes you don't understand what goes on until your family experiences something like this. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter who was in the NICU for 172 days, and that's something that can bankrupt a family. We need to try to make sure that we understand the real problems that our families are having and the real policies that we can put in place to help them be successful. We all say that we all want to be family friendly, but at the end of the day, do our policies support our families? What Travis County wanted to demonstrate today was that it's not just what we say, It's what we do. It is not, it is, and we don't just try to do this in an ivory tower. We sit with our employees, we sit with our stakeholders, we sit with our financial team to determine what is available and what is possible, and then we try to do what we can to support beautiful babies just like this and the families that they come to. Because at the end of the day, at Travis County, you might not get to make Fortune 500 money, but we should be able to take care of our families and allow our mothers and fathers to have the opportunity to bond with their children, to allow our kids to be able to participate in things that are important, to make sure that we are talking about pre-K, to make sure that we're giving opportunities for our young parents to participate in their children's lives. We want to be an employer of choice because we demonstrate that we care about our workforce. And I think today was an act of caring because we started talking about 10 weeks, but there was a consensus on the court that we didn't need to stop at 10 weeks. We want 12, let's take it now. And we think that our Travis County families, our Travis County employees will be better because of it. And that's just where we want to be as employers.
Thank you. Do you mind saying hi?
Oh, sure.
Talk about where you work.
Hi, I'm Catherine Molina. I work for the Travis County Veteran Service Office. I am an assistant veteran service officer. My job is to help veterans get their disabilities as well as the women coordinator and LGBT community. I had Savannah almost a year ago on Friday. She turned 1, so now she's getting ready to do the terrible 2s. I'm really grateful that we were able to have this in our county. Prior to it being approved, I was basically, as you can say, nickel and diming every single day I took off, or I needed time off for this or time off for that. Lucky enough, my supervisor, Susan Lewis, was very helpful. Okay, do this, do that. And so it was really great, and it was the process to apply for the paid leave was also painless. So greatly appreciate that we were able to have the parental leave, sorry. Not good on camera.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Ben, do you want to come say hi? Ben Sotheby with AFSCME.
Good afternoon. My name is Ben Sotheby. I'm the president of AFSCME 1624, and I'm an employee of Travis County. And I want to first give a recognition and thanks to all the people whose work makes the county run day to day, the people who are doing the work day in and day out. And as an employer, Travis County makes themselves more attractive by having benefits like this that take care of the family. So thank you to our Judge and Commissioners Court for their action today. Thank you to everyone who worked on this pilot program and developing the model, those advocates who fought for this, our union staff who advocated for it, everyone who was involved in this process. At the AFSCME International 41st International Convention in Chicago, way back in 2014, they passed a resolution that talked about the benefits of paid parental leave and how, citing a 2005 report published by the National Partnership for Women and Families, how paid parental leave increases better parental and postnatal care, how it increases bonding over the child's lifetime, more likelihood of them getting their necessary shots, all these necessary things for the family. As coworkers, we see an employer that takes care of our coworkers. So even those of us who don't ever plan on availing themselves of this provision, of this benefit, we see the benefit in our coworkers being able to take the time they need and having that rest assurance. Because, the federally required time away, FMLA, that's about unpaid time. But we're talking about people who have bills. They just had a kid. They just adopted someone into their family. New parents or parents that already have children. Those bills continue. So having 12 weeks of paid parental leave helps them cover those initial costs. And I want to follow suit like Judge Brown and just say a few words in Spanish as well,
Sure.
if that's okay. Queremos dar gracias a todos los empleados quienes trabajan en el condado, y también al juez y a los comisionados del condado, porque este es un beneficio muy importante para las familias. El poder dar la bienvenida a un nuevo miembro a su familia como empleados también es algo muy precioso, pero también como un lugar de empleo se hace muy competitivo en esta ciudad, el condado, y atrae ese talento que tanto necesitamos. So once again, thank you to everyone who worked on this. This is so important.
Judge, if I could 1 second. I would be remiss if I didn't call out a couple staff members who put hundreds of hours into making sure that we understood as a court what was important, what best practices were, how we could extend leave. And Kate Garza is one of those people in the judge's office, and Caitlin Brown is one of those people in my office who really went the extra mile to make sure that we understood the numbers, we understood the policies and procedures, we could make the change that was necessary. We aren't able to do these things without staff who takes the time to truly understand and help us build the policy. So I wanted to make sure that we shouted those two staff members out.
Great. So we've got Emily Amps with AFL-CIO, and then Kathy McCourse closing us out.
Good morning, or good afternoon, rather. My name is Emily Amps. I'm the Director of Politics and Policy at the Texas AFL-CIO. We're an organization that represents 240,000 working women and men across our state, including many Travis County employees and members of AFSCME 1624. But I'm not just here in my position with AFL-CIO. I'm also here as a parent. 12 years ago next month, I gave birth to my son. At the time, I was a state employee, one without paid parental leave. So that I could stay home for about 6 weeks to bond with my new baby, I had to save and ultimately exhaust the vacation time and earned overtime I had available. 12 years later, I still feel some guilt for what felt like a choice between my child and my job. A guilt for not having more time to spend with him in those first few precious months. No parent or caregiver should feel guilty for putting a child first. I realized that my ability to use banked leave in order to spend time with my child was a luxury that most do not have. That is why this policy is so important and why we are fortunate to have Judge Brown and the Travis County Commissioner's Court as leaders among Texas counties, doing the right thing by providing meaningful and now 12-week parental leave, and for understanding the benefit to county workers, their families, and our community. It's important to note that in our country and in our state, workers with this benefit are, again, in the minority. It's estimated that more than 80% of U.S. employees do not have access to paid parental leave. That needs to change. And not only because it's the right thing to do, but because it has a direct impact on employee retention, among other positive benefits. Studies show that when paid parental leave policies are in place, there is a 20% reduction in the number of female employees leaving their jobs in the first year after giving birth, and up to 50% after 5 years. It seems like a no-brainer to me, not to others, unfortunately. And I hope, though, that other counties, Texas counties, and more employers, both public and private sector, begin to understand the benefits and begin to shift their mindsets and their policies. I also hope that the Texas legislature is taking note. Right now, 13 states and the District of Columbia have enacted paid parental leave policies. And during the recent regular legislative session, the legislature did pass a measure to provide state employees a paid parental leave benefit, which came 12 years too late, which is a good start. But more must be done, because there are millions of workers in our state who don't qualify for a similar benefit. Because right now, far too many Texans are having to choose between providing for their families or taking care of their new child. We must do better, and we can do better as a state and as a nation. And thank you again, Judge Brown and the commissioners, for understanding the vital need for this policy, for leading the way among Texas counties. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kathy McCourse, and I'm the Vice President of the Austin-Travis County Success by Six Coalition. We work to ensure that every child born in Travis County receives the support and care they deserve during their early childhood years so they can enter kindergarten ready to thrive. Over 60% of children under age 6 in Travis County have all parents in the workforce. As a result, employer leave policies play an essential role in ensuring all children reach their full potential. We're grateful to Travis County for leading by example. Thank you, Judge Brown, Commissioner Trevelyan, and the entire Commissioner's Court for your leadership and continued commitment to paid parental leave for Travis County employees. There has been a great deal of study done on the impact that paid parental leave has on families, so I'd like to share some highlights with you. Broadly, paid parental leave makes families more financially stable, allows time to bond with and care for a newborn, and aids in the brain development of the child. It can also help protect parents' physical and mental health that has an impact on the entire family during this critical period. Paid leave reduces the risk of rehospitalization for moms by more than half. Each week of paid leave, up to 12 weeks, reduces the odds of a new mother experiencing postpartum depression. Fathers who take 2 or more weeks off after the birth of a child are more involved in the child's direct care 9 months after birth than fathers who don't take leave. Paid leave is strongly associated with reduced infant and post-neonatal mortality rates, and the likelihood of infants being rehospitalized in the first year is reduced by almost half. Longer periods of paid leave yield higher rates and longer periods of breastfeeding, which reduces the rates of childhood infections and improvements in child physical health that carry through elementary school. And an abundance of research has demonstrated that parent-child bonding in the first months of life is crucial for the development of healthy cognitive, behavioral, and social-emotional skills. Paid maternal leave is actually associated with a distinct profile of brain activity in infants that can indicate more mature cognitive functioning. The quality of parent-child interactions has been found to scaffold the subsequent cognitive and social-emotional development of children. The decision to support the county's paid parental leave policy is a bold step to support your current workforce and prepare the county's future workforce. Our region thrives when children thrive because they are our future citizens, workforce, and leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you all very much. Commissioner Howard. We've also got Commissioner Ann Howard.
Well, actually, I didn't want to ask Commissioner Howard.
Yeah.
You were the one who step up to the podium.
I tried to hide.
When everyone was talking about bumping it up from 8 to 10, you said, let's go for the 12, which wasn't supposed to happen until 2025.
She's from the future.
I think this was an opportunity for lived experience to sort of demonstrate what we believe. We're all parents and some of us are grandparents. My daughter got 12 weeks of paid time off from her employer in Denver, and it made the world of difference to that young family getting a start. And I know the budget, and I believed we could afford it. And I think we're indeed going to get there. And we heard about the city making steps, and we knew why Harris County had taken the steps they did. And so it was an opportunity for Travis County to just step out there and show our employers what we really want to do. And I believed we could afford it.
What were some of the challenges with this policy?
Well, we heard today that the data's incomplete in that we don't know where overtime is being used instead of a manager or director asking for backfill, I think we call it, to take the place of the parent who's missing. They could be using overtime and filling that work. I think we're also still developing our sort of current employment practices when you look at lots of people working remotely. I just think there's a lot of things shifting, and so we don't exactly know the cost. We don't know how many employees will use this. We want them to use it. We want them to take their vacation. We want to support, mental health and relationships and families.
Could this be a retention tool?
Sure. Judge, you want to talk about that?
I had one thing on the previous thing. Of the challenges, so the cost was less than we thought it would be to do the 8 weeks, frankly, and I think, like to Commissioner Howard's point, it just makes sense. One area of challenge still, though, is the corrections department in the sheriff's office. That's a very hard place to recruit people to work. They are having to work lots of overtime, and so I think it's particularly difficult to figure out how to take parental leave in that situation, just because it is such a staffing crisis in the jail, frankly. We're doing a lot. We've done a lot to raise salaries of deputies who work in the jail. I think we'll probably look at it again next year. That's one area where it's a challenge. In other parts of the county, to your point, the retention rate is better this year than it has been at least for the past 6 years, maybe more, of people returning to Travis County, not deciding to go somewhere else. I think that this is a big part of it. The increase of the minimum wage up to $20 an hour, I think, had something to do with it. And just other things that we're doing. We're working in conjunction with AFSCME and employees on trying to make it a better place to work and a more enjoyable place to work. And Commissioner Trevelyan, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, it just makes common sense. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to, hey, how you doing? At the end of the day, there are going to be some areas that are more challenging than others, but we're going to watch them closely, and we're going to evaluate them regularly, and we're going to try to do things that help the entire workforce. Just makes sense to be family friendly. You're able to keep your folks with experience. You're able to keep your folks with know-how. Many of us want to have families, and we want to be in a place where we feel like expanding our family is not going to hurt our career. And I think this was a move that made a lot of sense. It is, and what it clearly tells me is it's good to have grandparents on the court, because they know about these things. So, but at the end of the day, we want to work together and do things that make sense from a public policy standpoint, but importantly, that understand the needs of our internal customers. When we ask our employees to go out and serve our public, I want them to know for sure that we're going to be working for them.
Thanks. Any other questions? Awesome. All right. Thanks y'all very much for covering this. Really appreciate you being here.
Hey guys, should I take a picture with everybody together?
Yeah.
Would that be possible?
Yes.
Could we all squeeze in here for a second?
In front of the podium, maybe? Or
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah.
I was going to put her up top, so she's right in front of
There it is. All right.
Everybody ready?